Good morning and welcome to Steve's Backyard Bonsai. Today I want to take a look at my Dawn Redwoods. I had pruned them up in the winter, trying to get them ready for a group planting of some sort. But there are so few branches that have been selected by the trees that I think I need to let them grow out at least another year and get their branching a little more established. There's no way I'd be able to choose placement in a group planting with them the way they are right now. So I'm going to put them into pond baskets, let them grow out in pond baskets, let the roots develop. Let's see what they push out in terms of permanent branching, and we'll move on from there. Let me show them to you. Okay, see these two guys? The little one on the left has the most developed branching. So I watched a video with Candace and her Dawn Redwoods most recently, and she suggested some things to do at the apex, which I'm going to try and incorporate in a lot of my trees, if possible. I mean, these opposite buds that develop at the end of the Dawn Redwood branches, they're very problematic. And Candace said not to worry, because as they mature, these will get less opposite and more, what would you call it, alternate spacing. And that'll be nice. I mean, here they are facing up. So they're not quite opposite one. Well, they're opposite one another, but they're facing up instead of being, just a T. For this branch right here, they're just a T at the end. So what do I do at the apex of some of these? Let me zoom up on a few and we'll talk about it. All right, so these are two trees. On this tree, I'm going to want one of these to grow on as the leader. Neither one of them is facing up the way I'd like it, but why don't I just rub off one of them and live with it? So does one look healthier than the other? I don't know. I'm going to choose this one to rub off, and I'm going to let that one grow. There's nothing else further down on that particular leader, and it's got an alternate leader here, which might give the tree some taper if I take this this fatter one off going forward. So let me choose a leader on this one, and I'm going to choose the one facing up instead of out. Is that what I want to do? Yes. So I want it to grow this way, and I have another little bud a little further down, and hopefully that one will develop. I'm not going to mess around, but you can see that there are a lot of buds further down, and what I'm hoping is that I get some branches that don't look like these ridiculous branches. There's a bud down at the end of this. If that develops, I may just cut this one back and see if I can get that one to grow up. But then again, if it's a branch, I want to keep it. Okay, looking at this other one. Look at what you eat. He's good about puking up what he eats. I wish he wouldn't put so many things in his mouth. All right. Looking up on this branch, I don't think I would mind if both of these developed, so I'm going to leave them to develop. And looking down the trunk on this one, there's a lot that's happening. All right, I'm going to do a similar operation. Let me do one more in front of you, and then I'll do a similar operation on all of them, and we'll move on to the next step. here's one. It's just a stick in a pot, but it's got a lot of buds coming out. And I gotta get some branches happening on these before I put them in a group planting. So, at the apex, at the tip, I'm putting it in a place where I think you can see. I've got 2 buds heading in the up direction and 1 headed out. So I want a clear leader on this. I'm gonna let those 2 decide which one wants to be more of a branch. And just let it develop like that. There was one that had a really cool thing happening to it, but I can't find it at the moment. All right. And I have 11 of these Dawn Redwoods, all in various sizes that I had cut them to, you know, thinking a group planting, but really not understanding what it is I want to do with them yet. So I've seen roots developing in pond baskets. So I have 11 pond baskets, and I'm going to individually pot each of these in, and I'm going to just do it low down, as low as I can do it in the pot, to kind of conserve bonsai soil. So I've got to rake out every single one of these today and get them going in their own individual pots. I have, you know, quite a bit of my own soil mix ready to go, but I also have a bag of soil mix from the Bonsai supply that's fairly similar, a lot more granular, I think, than my mix, larger granules. But I might just mix them all together and have a hybrid to put these in. And let's get to it. I've got a fan going in here because it's so hot, and there's a lot of outside noise because of wind, and you may hear some creaking because the vents are opening up above. All you people in the Midwest, the upper Midwest, I'm sorry. We're getting spring. All right, I'm going to do as thorough a root raking on each one as possible. I'm going to be careful not to damage any of the buds that are down low. I'm going to make selections of which ones I think are going to be branches and baby those. But right now I just want to generate roots. I'm giving it a whole nother season, maybe 2, before I put these in a group planting. Now, these were started, they were started in a haphazard manner. I just threw them on a large planter. And then when they were nearing the end of their first season, I put them in these pots. So I haven't touched them since then. I'm pretty sure I cut whatever taproot I felt comfortable cutting. And there is it's a very coarse mixture. So I'm expecting some fine roots. I am going to want to choose a root base in this first repotting. And I'm once again repotting into pond baskets. I want to give that method a try. It makes sense to me when I hear it explained, but it's coming out nice. I'm being very gentle. I'm just kind of letting the root rake just break it up and have it fall. It rained a couple days ago, and this is a pretty loamy soil. I'm wondering if that's a tiny bit of root activity. That's the only root activity I've seen right there at the base. I am not worried about that. Right now it's a matter of time. I'm painting the kitchen. I'm doing it slowly. My wife is being a real trooper, but you know, got to do this too. Can't let another season go by. Okay, that's pretty well broken up. I'm gonna go, as soon as I finish breaking it up the rest of the way, I'm gonna go in with my chopstick and gently try and untangle what's there. I will be washing these roots, and these trees have been outdoors. The first time I'm bringing them in the greenhouse since they were pruned back. The weather was fairly nice then, and we've had a mild winter. They've been outdoors the whole time. I want these to be hardy trees. Some very, very big root down low. So if that's the tap, I'm getting it all at once. Look at this. You see that? This is starting to wake up, which is good. But this is like a wire. There's a lot of root associated with this very, very thick tap. And I don't know what to do. Gotta think about it. But look, this is very, very rich and very gritty soil. Looks like akadama. No, it's probably fluorite. Fluorite. First suggested to me by Tom over at the YouTube channel Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. And I'm a senior. I like bonsai. And Tom, I just want to congratulate you on 1,000 subscribers. That is really cool. I can only aspire to that. And I hope I'm doing good content. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I love your comments on other people's channel. All right, I've got to do something with this mass. And today was the day. This is a really natural radial root base way up here. Do I dare? Do I dare? I'm thinking I have to. There is a very natural, very alive root base right here. Are you seeing it? Above my finger. That could all come off. And I've got to nurse this tree, then back to health. So I'm going to start by cutting a big portion of it off. There are different lines of root base. I'm going to go below one of them, and that takes off a lot of root. I'm going to untangle this very gently. Because anything that's attached to this must go away. So I've got to find, and what's good is that the fine roots from the root base that I saved, they're coming away. And this might be a very good save. Very nice. hope I don't see this surprise in all of the trees. I've got 11 to do. Not that many pots, but 11 trees. Wow. Okay. Look at that. Coiled around once, twice. Wow. And thick, thick, thick at the end. Okay. Compost. Can I take more of that root away? I don't know. I think I can. I think I will. Look what I'm left with. That's nice, right? I think. Those could be arranged very nicely and put them in a pond basket. All right, I'm going to stick these in a tub of water. I'll take away a little more root. But not too much in the scheme of things, right? And I'm going to do the other ones. Maybe you guys can watch. All right, I'm just going to go into fast motion now. It's a little blustery, so I hope you can hear me all right. This was one that I put over a rock because there was a gap there and I didn't know what to do, so I had a rock, so I stuck it in there. I'm sure that was a mistake. Looks like a cool rock. Put it aside. What I found with all of these is that they were in the pot probably a year or maybe even 2 years too long. They sent down really thick roots. So what I want to point out is that I've adopted a bottom-up raking methodology for this particular problem. Obviously, I didn't know that with the first one and even the first two, but I realized that what's on the bottom of this, while some of it looks like it would make really, really good root cuttings, I'm not going to do that. I encourage some of you to try that. That's where, when you cut a big part of the root off, and that could become the beginning of a trunk of a miniature shohin type tree, that would be really cool. Every one of these I found has a pretty reasonable root base that's separate from the big mass down below, or separatable from the big mass that I cut off down below. And you can see, I gotta find what the thick things are that are holding that on. I cut them off first, and then I deal with what's left. Now this one was in a square pot, and it's probably got my weirdest root base. So in a group planting, this one's either going to be hidden or buried deeper, or I don't know, developed differently. I think that's the best thing to hope for. So then I separate the two, find out where the long ones are coming from and pull them through. Sometimes I'm wrong and they're coming from the other direction. So you're right 50% of the time. This becomes useless. There were much thicker ones in other in other pots. But this has a very bizarre root base, and I'm either going to do something very cool with this, or I'm going to do something very cruel with this. Oh, this is awful. Or maybe, I don't know. All right. I don't know what to do here. I may have to defer that decision to the plant up stage, which is next on most of these same stations. Speaking of most of these same stations, I'd love to know who everyone watches. I know we kind of grow exponentially based on who we've watched, so a lot of the audience is the same people. But maybe I want to expand my horizons. I recently found Jele, is that his name? I'm sorry, I can't pronounce it right. And I'd never seen him before. I'd been in my Nigel Saunders world. He accompanied me on my daily commutes on the Long Island Railroad for many years. And then I grew from mentions that he had. Tom from Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. And more recently, Dave and Candace, Tony. All really, really good people doing really cool stuff. And I'm interested to know who everyone watches, emulates. I mean, there's no doubt about it that I emulate the people that I see. There's no doubt about it. And I try out the tips that they give me, and I hope you'll try out tips that I give you if I, well, let me qualify that. If I give you a tip that you don't think you want to try, let me know why. Okay, yeah, this has got a really terrible root base. The other ones are all really good. So this is going into the water. Let me just trim this long stuff off. I know in the beginning I said I wasn't trimming, but then I adopted a trim method, so some are sitting in there longer than others. This is about as short as I've been cutting them. And I compost all my compostable matter. Ugh. That's, oh my God. That's awful. All right, we'll see what we can make out of that. I've washed all the roots. They're sitting in water. All right, I'm masked up, so you may not be able to hear me too well. Putting a base layer of soil, and this soil includes the soil from We Are the Bonsai Supply. That's the website. Soil from the Bonsai Supply, which I had first seen being used by Nigel Saunders, and his endorsement was all that I needed. And this is an excellent, excellent mix. These upper roots haven't begun to grow yet. This tree was being fed by all the lower roots, so you know, I'm a little trepidatious that I may have cut more than I should have, but I'm going to give it a go. I have a lot more of these Dawn Redwoods. Okay, this should be pretty sturdy. I'm not going to put that much, but I want these roots to grow out, and I kind of like the argument that's made in favor of pond baskets. I have a watering station right outside that I'm going to bring these to once all of them are firmly planted. And I'll do the planting in fast mode. I don't think I'm going to need this mask. I thought I'd capture the last one in real time. Getting to the bottom of the barrel here in terms of my mixed soil. I'll have enough. Not for much else. This last one is the one that I didn't prune. I don't know what I'm going to do with this thing. I think I'm going to have to expose this and expose a lot of fruit, which makes it iffy to be part of this group planting, but we'll see what happens. I'll try and arrange these roots radially, but I don't know how successful I'll be. Not very. All right, well, we'll see what happens with this tree. And we'll see what happens with all the trees. It's the first time I'm trying this method, so we will see what happens. Yeah, this one's going to take a lot of soil. It's gonna take a lot of soil. Name that tune. Oh, that's an easy one. It's going to take a lot of soil. I'll go water this last one, and then I'll come back and show you all of them up on my bench. These are going right back outside. I think I'm getting rain in a day or so, but I'll keep them wet until then. And I'm gonna have to keep them very wet all summer long. Okay, it's a bit blustery, but I've got all 11 Dawn Redwoods in pond baskets, and they will be babied. I hope the temperature remains okay. If it doesn't, I guess I can pull them into the greenhouse. But I think things are going to stay a little warmer, and then at least for the next couple of weeks. All right, the next shot will be me watering them one more time. And if I haven't said it enough times, thank you for keeping me company in my backyard.